Morell, what is the latest position? Is it a takeover, or are you coming in what position to the club?
No, it's not a takeover at the present moment in time. It's me coming in as director of football. I've got a list as long as your arm of all the issues and the problems and all the things that need looking at, and essentially it's for me to bring my experience to bear in trying to position these things and finding a way forward for the football club.
What is the position of Jim Harvey?
He's the manager.
Mm-hmm. And that will remain?
Oh yeah, as long as Jim wants it to, yeah.
OK, so is there a possibility that you will be taking and investing in the club?
Certainly not investing in the club, no. It's not a position for me. I've had a bitter experience of getting involved in that manner before. I'm no longer part of that situation at Hull Zoe, and friends of mine have taken over there now, and they're looking at driving the football club forward. Mine is a brief to develop the football, help the football issues and develop the football club from the footballing angle. There are other recommendations that I'm making in terms of investment and some individuals that I've put forward to the football club that will possibly help the incumbent directors or owners of the club either extricate themselves from that position or move the club forward.
Is there a time scale for the existing owners to extricate themselves from the club?
There is, but that depends on how it works, how it moves forward. I think I'm new to the situation, and obviously I'm now getting to grips with all the issues, and I've been working on it for the last week or so, and there's still another couple of weeks for me to really be able to pan out the whole situation. Obviously you guys are aware of it because you've been working with it and living with it, your supporters, and you eat, sleep and drink it. I'm new to it, and I've got to figure out all the different scenarios that are being painted to me at the moment and find a solution for the problem.
Have you signed a contract as such, or is this a non-contract situation?
There's a contract on the table. It hasn't been signed yet.
So what is the position as far as the club and the shares are concerned? Because obviously the supporters want to know this. There's been an ongoing saga. There have been protests against the current owners. What is your position with that, and what do you know about that?
I've made certain recommendations, and there are certain people that are not connected to any of the current owners or previous owners or any situations that are looking at getting involved. We have to tidy it all up. We have to present it as a not just a logistical way of moving the club forward, but a feasible way to get people to invest, to be involved, and to drive the football club forward. Obviously the football club has a long history, and it's got a great future in front of it, so it's getting the right people involved.
So presumably due diligence will be undertaken?
Funnily enough, there's not a tremendous amount of due diligence to be done. I know that's a word that people like to throw around at the moment, but the club has exited administration, so it's a new company. The new company doesn't have a trading history other than a few weeks, a couple of months. So there's not a tremendous amount of due diligence to be done, and a lot of the issues, particularly the financial issues, are already well documented. So it's quite a clear picture. I think had this happened 6 months ago, then that would have been a pertinent question. But as it stands right now, it's very clear, it's very concise, but it's how to develop the club forward and to basically get everybody on side to put together a project that has the fans and all the people associated with the club working together and pulling together as a team.
Looking forward, will full-time professional football be here in the year 2010 at Chester City, or are you looking at a part-time scenario?
No, I think I'm a positive person by nature, and if any of you know me from my Kettering days and from my Hull Zoe days, I really think that there is the probability that the club will be relegated into Blue Square North, but there is still a puncher's chance of getting out of it if we can give the manager the tools that he needs. So I haven't, as an individual, having looked at the points available, looked at the clubs with all due respect yet to be played, and looked at the position of the football team and the football club, given up on the chance that there's an outside chance that we could sneak out of it. So there's still that there. The betting man would say we're down and you have to now rebuild, ready for the Conference North next year, and look to get out of the Conference North as fast as possible. Obviously I had a couple of seasons in the Conference North with Kettering, and I know the division very well. And I know what we have to do to build a side to get out of the Conference North. So there are contingencies being built for each scenario, I think. But initially, I think there's a huge PR job to be done. There has to be a deliberate way forward, a plan, and we're working on that plan now. And then hopefully within the next week or two, we're going to try desperately to do it before the new year, present that plan to the fans, and hopefully the potential investors as well.
Now, one of the problems is that the players aren't being paid. How are you going to address that in your new position?
That's something that I've got to take up with I'm not 100% sure of exactly who hasn't had what at this particular moment. I was handed a list before today. I'll have to go through that list and find out exactly what the situation is. I need to speak to Jim, who I had 30 seconds with before the game. I need to speak to players and find out exactly what the situation is. We have one or two recommendations that we want to make. At the end of the day, the bottom line is money fixes everything, doesn't it? Yeah. So the idea is that we come up with the money to get those players played, and then how we restructure and move the club forward is then a management issue rather than a team issue.
Now, you mentioned Halesowen. Are all your previous ties finalised now with Halesowen? Because I think I'm right in saying, or was there a ban in place at some point after your...
With Halesowen?
Yeah.
Yep, I had a ban. I had an altercation with a player, which that's well documented. That's over now. I still have a touchline ban until the end of the season, but my total football ban is finished. So I'm able to resume duties as normal with any football club that wants me, and Chester seems to be my next port of call.
How long has this negotiation been going on for?
It started as a discussion, really. It started as a discussion 2 or 3 weeks ago, and several people with finance and with influence have joined the discussion, and that discussion turned into a debate, and then that's been determined by the incumbent's desire not to leave the football club but to seek help.
Yeah.
In moving the football club forward. Obviously, he has his own problems, and he's not allowing those problems to really drift into the football club. He's done a lot already, but now it has to be a real clear and concise way forward, and that's what he's desperate to achieve. At the end of the day, he's been here 8 years. He's had fabulous moments at the football club, and he feels really a real part of the football club, but he has a problem, or has problems, and he's not the only chairman stroke owner that has those problems in this current climate. There are several, but he seems to be taking a lot of stick for it.
So the Vaughan family ownership of the club maintains unless the investment comes in that obviously you're talking to investors?
That's not exactly the situation at the moment. There is a vehicle that, if it's not in place now, it'll be in place in the next few days, that makes that situation redundant. So it is being discussed, it's being worked on at the moment, but it hasn't been finalised, and until the lawyers give me the brief, I can't really say much about that.
Okay, thanks very much for talking to us.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.